So we'll want to begin by making our pastry, and we'll want to place all the ingredients, the flour, the salt, the butter and the sugar and the egg into a bowl, and ideally cut the butter into no smaller than pea size, and incorporate that egg together. If you have a hand mixer and you want to blend your pastry that way, absolutely that would work. I did get to a point where I needed to then effectively bring the dough together with my hands, because just using a knife was not cutting it. And then you see there we've got our dough together. And then this is a press-in dough. You could probably roll it out, but pressing it into your pie dish or your tart dish, it works totally fine here. The easiest way to do it is to simply press as much as possible from the center outwards and up. So we want to make sure that we can feel with the palm of our hand how smooth that dough is in the center, and then work our way to the edges. We want to make sure that the corners of our tart dish are not too thin, the pastry isn't too thin there, and then we can shape lastly the top edges of our pastry. You will warm that pastry up somewhat because you're working with it so much with your hands. The size of my tart dish here is approximately 21.5 centimeters, approximately exactly, or 8.5 inches, so it's a medium-sized tart dish. And once we've shaped it accordingly, because it will be quite warm, we'll want to place it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes to just really chill. And whilst we do that, we'll want to preheat our oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. There are several layers to this tart, and the first layer that gets baked along with the pastry is the marzipan filling. If you don't love marzipan, that is okay. It will still work here. I recommend still using it because of the several layers. Like, every single person I've served this tart dish to, this tart to, has loved it, and some of them have even said, I don't even like marzipan, and they've gone, this is incredible. And the easiest way, I did so much research on this and nothing came up as to how I'm telling you how to combine the filling, but the easiest way to get a really nice smooth marzipan filling is to blend it. Really, honestly, the sugar and the eggs will blend beautifully with that marzipan, and it will be a really nice smooth mixture. And once we've chilled our dough, we'll want to press it thoroughly with a fork so that the air is nice, gets through that pastry nicely as it bakes, and then we'll want to pour that filling over the top. And I did actually have to put aluminum foil at about the 20-minute mark of baking. We'll want to bake it for about 30 minutes until it's just ever so slightly jiggly in the center. We don't want it to be any more jiggly because it won't set. So you'll see as I show you the baked product, there is a bit of a mark there. That's because of the aluminum foil. And just after we've taken it out of the oven, we'll want to top with that finely chopped chocolate and just really spread that over to melt nice and evenly, and then we can set it aside. We'll let that tart cool completely, and we'll get to making our pastry cream next. I had no vanilla bean for this take of the tart video because I'd already used it in a previous iteration of this tart that I made. So a very strong, I have homemade vanilla extract. Good quality vanilla extract works just as good as a vanilla bean here. We'll want to place all those ingredients, the milk, the egg, the sugar, the flour, and the vanilla extract, into a small saucepan and place it on medium-high heat, and we'll want to whisk it quite continuously as we heat it through. We want to whisk it continuously for a few reasons. One, we want to make sure that it's really nice and smooth. Two, it helps us ensure it's heating through evenly, so it's not burning on the base and is not thickening up on top. And also it ensures that it comes together nice and consistently. It really doesn't take long, it's only about 2 to 3 minutes. And once we have thickened it specifically to the point where it's kind of like, it looks basically like a very light custard on the back of a spoon, we'll want to ideally pour it into a bowl to remove it completely from the heat and place it in the fridge. We want to cover it, ensure it doesn't form a skin, and then place it in the fridge for ideally an hour at least to chill completely. Meanwhile, we'll want to whip our cream. I chose to just whip by hand here. We'll only want to whip our heavy cream until just prior to reaching soft peaks, because we'll then want to incorporate our pastry cream that we've made prior and has had time to chill into our thickened cream, and that will then also thicken it up further. We'll want to really beat that quite thoroughly there to make sure it's really well combined and it's really nice and smooth, that pastry cream and that cream have effectively become one. We can make that or the tart, we can make both of them a day prior and then bring them together. This tart is really nice and rustic, so we do not need to worry too much about piping our cream on top. If you want to, absolutely go ahead, but it's okay if we have a little bit of chocolate showing, and so we'll just want to place the dollops on top of our tart and spread out if we're just going with the traditional rustic look that is usually served up in Denmark. And lastly, we'll want to top with our fresh strawberries. I absolutely do not recommend using frozen strawberries here, because the fresh strawberries, just their flavour is just so perfect with this tart. You could absolutely not cut them, you could use whole strawberries here, but that's just less surface area, so cut just means it's much easier. And there we have it. If your tart looks like mine, probably slightly tidier once you've sliced it, you've done a fantastic job. Do let me know in the comments below what you would like to see me make in the future, and subscribe for more videos like this.